What is going on, guys? It's Adam and Marf, and today we have a ton to talk about, so we'll be right back right after this. He really does care. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Getting right into it again, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, including new surveillance that is going on, of course. Very creepy stuff. Exactly. I mean, we don't want to say we called it, but again, we're going to be talking about, of course, they're saying that your smart home is watching and possibly sharing your data with the police. Who talked about this 2 years ago when the patents went through for Amazon? I knew this was going to happen, and now, of course, they're not going to let us know. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Air Force's first hypersonic missile fail, and then, of course, drones, the mysterious drones. Still no story on that. Again, it's crazy stuff that happened there. And then Neuralink. All of this is going to be packed into today's show, plus updates on what is going on in the Arctic and Russia and everything else. So again, we've got some really great military sources that have been contacting myself and Dex. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. First off, I just want to let you know today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. If you want to support us, go over there and make sure to get one of the best virtual private networks out there. One of the easiest, turn on and off like a light switch, over at marfooglenews.com/VPN and use the special code Marfoogle. Now remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the team, including our wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. And the show is live, so anything can happen. My lights have fallen over. My house has almost tumbled, and I've even gone through an earthquake. So again, stick around. It's going to be a good one. Let's bring in Dex. Dex is going to be manning the phones tonight. Tonight, I would highly recommend, if you have a local story, or if you have video of your local Walmart that's putting in facial recognition or something like that, give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. We want to know what's going on around the country and what's going on around the world. Of course, international, if you want to figure that out, the regular number should be down here as well, 2244-006273. So then you can learn how to call internationally. And then, of course, Dex, what's going on, and what a crazy week it's been.
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. And it has been quite crazy. Sorry
about blasting your ears there. I had you a little bit loud. That's why we always do that sound check. So I'm glad we'd have that. Also, Dex has compiled all of the news that we've gathered here on the website. It's very easy to follow along. You actually, we are one of the few shows that actually does all of our news and makes sure to compile a bibliography of sorts. So every single article, every single tweet, every single video, every single document that we show you here today is going to be on the website, so therefore you can actually go check it out later. It's very easy to navigate. Go to this thumbnail. Of course, new surveillance. It all ties together. It all ties. And then you'll see that all of the links are there. So you can go back retrospectively, you can read with us, or if you want to read farther into any of those articles, you can continue on doing so on a tablet or on a second device. So really cool. And then on the side, if you want to support us in any way, or if you saw an affiliate and you can't remember the website, those are all the links over on the side. If you want to PayPal or do any of that, you can do so as well, or use our Amazon link there, that box. It helps. We are truly independent, and we have no multi-channel network, so we have no protections. So you guys are our backbone. All right, let's get into it. Very crazy week right now. Like I said yesterday or the day before, that it's like people are saying, quit fear-mongering, but guess what? We're not. I don't think we are, and I heavily think that once stuff really does pop off, then people are going to realize, this is the mindset that we are in, that we think that nothing is ever going to happen. And that's not the mindset we should have. We should also not be afraid and hiding under a rock or selling our house and living out in the woods. That's not the way to go either. But we need to have a nice mixture of both. We need to be right in the middle, have our head on a swivel. That's why they always say that, head on a swivel. I mean, that is a famous saying now. I mean, in the internet, I hear that every single day, multiple times a day, head on a swivel. What does that mean? You're looking over your shoulders, but you're making sure to keep an eye out for everything. Keep your eyes open. Quit hitting snooze button. These are all sayings that we say because it's real. There is a lot of stuff coming at us. There's a lot of ganda, as I call it, coming at us from all directions. And it can morph and meld your mind into this mush. And we have to think for ourselves. That's why I highly encourage you guys to read the articles yourself, get your own views on these. That's why we gather a whole bunch of other stuff that is so controversial that I don't want to slant your view on it, that you need to go and check it out and get your own view. And I guarantee most of the time, your gut is probably right on them. So, Scoop, another tanker briefly runs aground in the Suez Canal. Really? Like, this is kind of like Oumuamua, the first interstellar object. Somebody's going to go, wow, that's not a comparison. But think about it. Oumuamua came in and it was the first ever interstellar. It seems like that with this because I've never heard of this happening. I guess it did happen a few decades back. But again, in the same week, another ship runs aground in the Suez Canal. Just really weird stuff going on with that whole situation. It says the strategic shipping waterway, which accounts for as much as 12% of all global shipping. There are 8 billion people on Earth. So 12% of the shipping that goes around the world for all of those people goes through this canal. It says as much as 12% of all global shipping was jammed up for 6 days in March after a large Japanese-owned container ship ran aground, bringing all traffic through the canal to a halt. The accident was estimated to have caused a delay in the shipment as much of $400 million in goods per hour. Another ship has briefly run aground in the Suez Canal, an informed source has told Sputnik. So this is Russia reporting this, and again, what the heck is going on where these ships are running aground? The first one, remember, there were multiple mainstream authoritative sources that came out, and they said that the entire ship, this 1,400-foot ship, a ship that is literally as big as a skyscraper, had a ship-wide blackout. Then that story was corrected and changed to no, they denied that ever happened. Enough so that every newspaper ended up going back and saying, oh no, it wasn't a ship-wide blackout. Now, how would a ship-wide blackout even happen? Well, one, a problem with an older boat could happen and just all of the power goes out. But you have to realize these boats have multiple generators. These are just giant boats. They have an electrical system that's just as advanced as a skyscraper. And for the entire thing to go out, that's why they say ship-wide. It is a multifaceted, just absolutely insane size boat. You can see this thing from space. So when it all went out, it's like, what the heck happened there? And of course, they're going to say, well, we're going to do an investigation because guess what? It cost trillions of dollars. Not billions, but I believe trillions after the entire 2-week thing or 1-week thing was over. $400 million an hour. It was at least in the billions and billions of dollars. Every 2 hours, it was about $1 billion, or every 2.5 hours. So this was a big deal, and it happened again. It's like Oumuamua comes in, first interstellar object, and then like in a year, we're like, oh, we have another one. What? We've never recorded one, and now all of a sudden 2? That's weird. Just saying. And of course, now they have so much interest on the, by the way, just a side note, on the Oumuamua thing, it's like, now they are like, it's the stupidest argument. They're like, is it pancake? Is it like a cookie? Or, this is what's filling our mainstream news. Like, no, I don't think it's a pancake. It's more of a cookie. Well, I think it's less of a cookie, more of a muffin top. Maybe not a muffin top, but maybe it's a, one of those flattened cake pops. I don't know. Why does it matter? I don't think any of them know, to be honest. I think the damn thing was a freaking U.S. spaceship over a cookie or a pancake. And who knows? Maybe in the future, pancakes are the malevolent race that rules us all. I wouldn't put it past, it's 2021. It says a new incident took place in the canal's southern portion, almost completely blocking traffic through the waterway. The source added, what? Footage of the canal traffic by marine traffic showed ships loitering in a narrow stretch of the canal area Tuesday afternoon local time, with tugs, including the Mosaed 3, rushing to help the Minerva Nike, a crude oil tanker sailing under the flag of Greece. It says that the Rumford, a crude tanker sailing under the Italian flag, could be seen stopped directly north of Minerva Nike, reporting engine trouble. Yeah. Now, remember, vehicles, if you were in a conflict with electromagnetic conflict, you would use, they have smaller scale EMP weapons that they can use. And so say if you had electronics or any kind of communication systems, you would do this kind of smaller EMP. I just wonder if it will ever come out, just hypothetically declassified, that the ship might have been hit with some smaller EMP stuff. Again, they have their official story, and then of course we just have our questions. Thank you for everybody that has come here. Says wood in North Idaho for a piece of plywood, $11 today. It is $40. Wow. So your guys' wood has just absolutely skyrocketed. That's insane. Isn't it a lock-style canal? I've never been there. I don't know if they have a lock type thing, but again, I believe it's a big waterway. I mean, it's huge as far as the width. And then we've got Home Jailer. What's going on? Jonathan Sermons. We've got Johnny Fry Guy. I Miss America. Smokey Blazer. I like that. I Miss America. That's a good one. Let's see here. Mighty Tort. B. Fudkin. We've got Grego2 and Bold the Coffee. Zanado. I Am Smart. What's going on? Let's see here. Yes, it's a lock style, says Kevlon or Kevon. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I have never been there. I would love to see it one day. So again, that blocked up. What the heck is going on there? And now we have a former CIA chief says that he hopes we can be friendly in dealing with other creatures if they exist. So basically, straight up talking about UFOs or extraterrestrials, it says, former director of the CIA, James Woolsey, reveals a friend's aircraft was paused at 40,000 feet and says that he hopes we can be friendly in dealing with other creatures if they exist. A former CIA director has spoken of his new openness to the possibility of open or alien life, telling a story of an airplane that was brought to a halt at 40,000 feet, saying that he hopes mankind was friendly to extraterrestrial if they ever made contact. It says R. James Woolsey, who ran the CIA from 1993 to 1995 during Clinton, spoke to the Black Vault's YouTube channel on Friday. Woolsey, 79 years old, spoke to promote his new book, Operation Dragon, in which he claims that Lee Harvey Oswald, JF, on the orders of the Kremlin, so saying that Russia did it. Dex, I don't know if you're on the phone or not. Again, the number is 224-400 Marf if you want to call in. But isn't this sort of related to what we already covered as far as the two kind of dueling theories on JF? I don't know if you if you know if I wonder if we could search that in our vault.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, so we did cover those dueling theories, right? Is
this the same guy, or is this a different theory kind of going along with that?
That's a good question. We'd have to go back and cross-reference that. I did not think about that, and we should.
Yeah, because I remember covering that. It says the former intelligence chief who served under Bill said that he had recent years heard numerous stories of unexplained aerial phenomena. There have been over the years now events of one of a kind of another, usually involving some kind of aircraft-like airframe, he begun. And then he went on to basically say all of this stuff, and it's like, the thing is right now, all of these people are coming out and saying it, and it has people questioning, why? Why are all these people coming out in prominent positions, in big positions, and why are they pushing this? Is there some sort of secret thing that's going on? Do they know something that we don't? Or are they legitimately telling us that they are kind of, letting out more and more? We've heard so many comments. It's like we are basically ready for this to happen. If there was to be a full disclosure of actual extraterrestrial, or what they say is extraterrestrial, again, then we would be ready for this, because all of the public is basically been trained that this is going to happen. Think about it. In every part of the news, from Harvard professors and people that are in respectable positions, from politicians to respectable people, have all come out and say, basically, if you guys knew what we knew and that it would change the way the world works. Not only that, they've said that they do have remnants of a ship. Like, what? That they did recover things from the crash site, and if they knew the details, it would change life forever. These are people in prominent positions just in the last year that have said these things. So what the hell is actually going on? Now, I did see a comment the other day of somebody saying, oh, well, Marf still talks about anything outside the firmament, so he's just blah, blah, blah. One thing I have to say to the people that are in the belief of a certain theory of the shape of the earth, I don't understand why you would be so close-minded to not hear anything outside of space. Wouldn't you want to know what the other side of the argument is talking about? And wouldn't that help you in your argument? Also, why would you voluntarily go and watch every space-related video only to comment how other people are dumb and stupid? That's what I don't understand. I've never gotten this about that community, and I'm saying that, but I should say there's a lot of people in my community, and they are openly accepted. Some of my mods, including my favorite one. I'm just kidding. My favorite group, my favorite one, are believers of that, and they believe it ties directly into the Bible, and that's great. That is their view. I also like knowing about everything that is being said, everything that mainstream is putting out, because guess what? When you look back throughout history, mainstream has told us beforehand in almost every event. We have seen before WW2, before WW1. I almost need to bring out some of these old paper clippings before these conflicts happened of how they worded things. It is absolutely scary. When people say history repeats itself, you can actually go back, and I guarantee you there's a million documentaries there about how they have done the same exact thing in this current time. It is very easy to predict that we will have another conflict, because guess what? We have to. If the military-industrial complex and everything else has to keep going, then they have to keep the conflicts going. And that might sound messed up, and you might think, oh, my brother and cousins are in the military, and that means they're going to get sent away for some stupid reason. Yep. But as far as the shape of the earth and all that, why call somebody stupid, or why voluntarily search out people that think other than you and then tell them they're dumb? That doesn't make any sense to me. It never has. Anybody can come in here and say, well, I don't believe in that, blah, blah, blah. But instead they're like, I don't want to hear it. I hate that they even talk about it. And then go to 50 other videos that say the same thing and comment about it. It's like a personal thing. Like it personally offends them that all these people believe something else. Which, by the way, I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe, and that is totally welcome in my channel. Everybody's beliefs are welcome here. Everybody's. Even the ones I don't like. Because guess what? We should be able to say our beliefs. Neuralink co-founder says we have the tech to build an actual Jurassic Park. I've known this for 10 years. I know a lot of you have as well. When Jurassic Park came out, it was sci-fi or whatever, but they actually said, no, this is actually not that crazy. That's even, it kind of ties into last night in how we talked about how the VAT, ICANN, is actually doing this secret tunnel to dig out King David's remains to get his DNA. Why? They even said that it may be to clone him or to bring him to life or something, right? Well, this stuff has been around for a long time. It's actually easier. The whole thing that was holding them back is that it was, I believe it because it was using real human stem cells or something, and it was a moral thing. And in the public, they were saying, no, this is a bad thing. You can't play God. And it was a huge debate. But countries have been doing this for years and years. And I bet all the way back to the Germans probably experimented with this. Just saying, they did a ton of stuff with this kind of stuff. So I don't think it's crazy to think about this happening. Think about that. If they actually bred some dinosaurs in our lifetime, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to the point where most of you won't believe it until you see it. I guarantee you a lot of people are going to comment, I'll believe it when I see it. But we might actually, because the theory and what it is entailing, even a bug that is caught in amber does have the DNA. And if they can recreate that DNA and use tissues and things like this, scientifically, they say that that's now possible. Think about your kids going to a zoo and seeing mammoths. This is possibly the future. Whether we believe it or not, it very well could be a possibility if the Earth has enough time. That's the thing. We could probably come out with bring dinosaurs back before we could fix, whatever's going on, which most people think is a natural thing, right? And humans think that everything, and that everything revolves around us, and we're here with everything else. And again, I think that we have to realize that things might change, the weather might change, and we're going to have to adapt to it. It's not going to adapt to us. Neuralink co-founder says that we have built the tech to build an actual Jurassic Park. Now, Neuralink co-founder who recently made headlines for suggesting a religion that incorporates drugs and that his company's brain-computer interface would revolutionize gaming is back. And now he's calling for someone to build a real-world Jurassic Park. He says, we could probably build Jurassic Park if we wanted to, Hodak tweeted on Saturday. Wouldn't be genetically authentic dinosaurs, but maybe 15 years of breeding and engineering to get super exotic novel species. It says, for the uninitiated, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World makes up a 5-movie franchise with the 6 in the work, all based on Michael Crichton's hit novel about how bad an idea was to open a place like Jurassic Park where they cloned dinosaurs and brought them back to life. It says, leveraging recent advances in genetic research to create an entirely new creature is certainly an enticing idea, though there's a big difference between something potentially being feasible and actually being a good idea. What do you think about this? And again, they actually mention in this about de-extinction and something that's extinct, bringing it back. That would be a positive, right? Or most people would think so. Say the wild North rhino or whatever it is. I think there was one or two. There was one male. I think they might have been extinct in the last couple of years. Something like that, trying to bring that back and clone it. Would that be something that they should do? Should they play God or no? Probably not, right? What's your honest opinion on that? Press 1 if you think that they should bring back extinct animals, and 2 if you don't think so, for any reason, that they should not. 1 and 2. 1 if they should bring extinct animals back, and 2 if they shouldn't. A lot of no's. 2, a lot of no's. Wow. Pretty solid on the 2s. That's incredible. Pretty much everybody says that. And that's exactly why they say in public that they're not doing it. But again, think about the countries like China. Do you think that the U.S. is going to let the Chinese or the Russians get ahead of us because we have a moral decree and the public can't know about it? No. They're just going to do it in secret. They're going to do it classified, and they're not going to tell us about it. And then later, if it works out and they find some beautiful, amazing thing, then they'll come out with it. But otherwise, if there's mistakes, those are all just, shoved under the rug. That's just my opinion. Do you think that they are already cloning people? In fact, this is a great one. So pretty much solid 2s across the board. A few people say 1, and I really do appreciate the people that go against the grain here. But do you think that clones exist as far as like human clones? Do you think humans clones exist? Press 1 if you do, 2 if you do not, 3 if you think they're coming. 1 if you do, 2 if you do not, and 3 if you think that they are coming. Wow. You know what? I hope you guys all participate in this. I'm going to do a community post where I do an actual vote system and put those options. And I'm going to put that on the community post on this channel so everybody can see how many people believe in clones. There's a lot, either 1 and 3. I mean, I barely see any 2s. We know that clones exist. We know that they're cloning rats and things like this. But have they cloned humans? Have they cloned rappers? Who knows? What do you think about this? Let me know. Thank you, and thank you for everybody that participated in that. If you guys want to protect yourself, there are a lot of things going on with Earth right now. We have shown you why we honestly think that this is something that people should be looking at. EMP Shield is a company that is not only contracted with agencies like Department of Homeland Security, DOD, Department of Defense, and now officially protecting the Texas grid at the DEPSO team. but they can also make consumer devices for us. And again, when they've got all those contracts, when we started with them, we didn't know if they were going to continue selling to regular people like us because they got these giant contracts. So again, they are continuing to sell them to consumers. These are professional, professional grade, military tested devices, and they make different devices for all different types of things. So if you're new here, I would say just talk to any other Foogles that have already done it, especially on their most popular one. That one actually wires into your car, and it can be done in about 5 minutes. It will actually ground the signal of the EMP and multiple EMPs. Burst comes in waves. It will ground that to the frame of whatever device you have it on. Or if it's in your home, it grounds outside before it can fry your devices. That way, in the event that the power does come back on, or you have a generator or a solar system, that those are not fried. Then in the event of either an EMP or a natural solar flare, you will still have power, possibly saving your life. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. I do believe that if any of these events happen, again, there's 3 major ones that can happen, that you will be, that this will actually save lives at some point. I hope that a lot of people end up looking into this and research of why you need it. Solar protection, RV, motorcycle, 3-phase, watercraft, and home and vehicle. They have pretty much everything, even ham radio protection. All right, thank you guys. And again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. Make sure to use our code, and of course, you will get $50 off per device and combine it with their current sale, the best one they've done in years. Dex, will you let me know? I believe we have open lines right now. The numbers.
Yeah, we've got calls on hold ready to go.
Okay, great. And then if you want to call in 224-400-MARF. Again, suggest that you call in on the subjects of today, but if you have some important news or some secret info or anything that you want to know that you can safely tell us, then let us know. All right, Dex, let's do this then. And then while you do that, thank you so much. Frankie Rios says, I know for the fact that J&J has been cloning. Creepy. Maddie's mommy, I'll get to you in a second. Go ahead.
No, Adam, I was just going to let you know Short Circuit is up next. We got him online.
All right, Short Circuit, you are live on Marfoogle News. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Hope the Foogle fam's doing good. I have some information that I've been coming across, and I've done, a lot of biblical research and cross-referencing through Greek mythology. Everything that you were just talking about, it makes, I'm like shaking. So I put a video out, and, normally I do FPV videos, and this is, it's information that I felt like I really had to get out. I believe, the Holy Spirit really wanted me to let people know this. It's a connection with the blue blood, Noah's Ark, Ish, Tur. It's not the group over there, with the mask, that religion. I don't know. Did I mess up already on the word?
No, and just try to relax. So can you spell it out?
Yeah.
Literally spell it out.
ISIS. So.
Okay. So
it's actually the deity is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So are you talking about the multiple arm deity?
Yeah, with Osiris, Horus,
yes.
the eye.
Okay, gotcha. And I'll pull up some reference so people know who you're talking about.
So I put a video out, and it goes in really deep in the connections of everything between Plato's number, the Plato's cube, the blue blood from the horseshoe crab. How did, they get this bloodline through the flood, right? Satan knew that God was going to flood the earth. And why are they using that horseshoe crab, right, hidden in the horse's foot? Why are they using that for these snake bites?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I believe what we were talking about, reincarnation. My video, I mean, it's crazy because everything you're talking about, my video connects it all. So I'm not like here to get views or subscribers. It's just to get the information out.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pull this up and
it's just deep, you know.
Now, do I have your permission
if you don't
to
understand like the Greek mythology and, you know, the number of the beast, I don't believe it's 666. You know, everyone thinks that just adding, like, if you multiply it, it's 216. You know, and the 2 and the 1 and the 6, you know, if like the connection between the sun, you know, it's 108 diameters of the earth. The 108 times 2 is 216.
So what we'll do...
And it connects with gematria, all of it.
So Short Circuit, what we're going to do is we're going to point people to the full video because it looks like it's a lot more than what we can do on a call. 22 minutes, and it looks like you go into a lot of detail here. And I'll just show a headline here that it says on your video, of course, talking about the coveted, the stuff there that you were talking about.
Well, with like Christmas, right? At the evergreen tree, right? So Horus, you know, it's a paganism. It's, you know, Ishtarte is Easter. You know, paganism has never left, even after Christ came back.
Yeah,
the abomination of desolation is right now. We are in the tribulation.
And I believe okay. that we need another Discord type thing up so we have room so people can conversate about this again. We had such an active group of people that would talk about all their different theories with this and all of the things that go on. And there was even a group that talked about how it related to ancient Egypt, and there were some folks
that's Babylonia, the Tower of Babel,
that studied.
Yeah, they're playing God.
That studied hieroglyphics and how they said that, you know, some of this would happen, even put, you know, advanced technology and all of these things in ancient hieroglyphics.
Oh yeah, we had all this, everything.
Yeah, the
history mirrors itself.
That's what I'm saying. History repeats, and the Great Library burning up.
That's what, dude. I even say that in my video. You know, it's everything that you were talking about before. Not everything, but it all connects. The ancient aliens, the Babylonia, the Bible, Nimrod. You know, it's crazy. You know, and then they put all these drones up with Genesis. It's wild, man. We're living the most interesting, crazy times. Like, kings would give their kingdoms up to live now what we are experiencing.
And the King Solomon or the King David getting exhumed secretly by the vat. Yes, I totally understand. Well, Short Circuit, again, this is definitely a way longer subject that we need to point to your channel for. And what we're going to do is love mob your channel. Everybody should be going over to Short Circuit right now and saying hello. Again, I hope that you use this power for good and not evil. Go over and hang out with Short Circuit. And again, if we happen to get them to 1,000 subscribers, not only do they get the chance to be monetized if they get the hours, but also it puts them in the algorithm and they can get their message out there. And they might be able to do lives from their phone, which is actually very important, which after the NZ event that happened, you are not allowed to do that. So Short Circuit, I do appreciate you today, and we're on a tight schedule, but thank you so much for calling, and we're going to point everybody your way and put you on the website, and I'm definitely going to be checking out your video. Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Love God, the Creator. Have faith in Him, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Amen.
You do those, and everything will be fine.
Amen. Well, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
Short Circuit, it was a pleasure having you here, and I hope that everybody comes over and says hello. The video that he is talking about, the snake bite of the beast, this sounds really, really interesting. Again, we're on a time constraint. It's already been 9 minutes, but this is very fascinating stuff. And if you look, and if he does tie it in, like it sounds like he does know quite a bit of it, it is a very fascinating subject. It probably, it's going to be a certain group of people that were in my Discord would, absolutely talk about this all the time as far as the ancient connections that were there. And I actually thought that was one of the most interesting kind of room to go and pop into. because they were actually devoted to kind of going through the hieroglyphics and finding all of these interesting connections to new life, to modern day. All right, and then thank you so much, Lola Cafe. Thank you for your support. Maddie's Mommy 14 says, don't forget to like, share when you can. Hey, thank you. I honestly forget to say that kind of stuff. Every YouTuber's supposed to say it. I think that if you do like the show and you find value in the show, that hopefully you would go up there and press the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it is appreciated, and it does help these videos get reach, and that's our ultimate goal here. People say, oh, you just do this for, views. We get the same amount of views almost every video. Again, we could say whatever we want, and it's about the same. But if you do those likes and everything, we can reach maybe a couple thousand more. And we really do appreciate that. Christian Moore, bring back Dema-eating dinosaur. Christian, that's horrible. Well, I don't know. I don't think they would decide. It's not like a vegetarian or, a meat eater. They're not going to go, it's soy. CR, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kim Brower, thank you so much for your support. CR, Lyle Neep. I guess they could point out the blue hair and then go after only blue hair, but no offense to anybody that has blue hair. I'm just saying, if you were a dinosaur and you only ate certain types of people, how would you choose? CR, Lyle Neep, what's up, Marf? Raven 000 Moon, thank you so much for your massive support. I have never seen your name before, and if you've been here a long time, then I apologize, but I do know pretty much, I know a lot of everybody's names. I've been doing this for years and shoutros for years, and I do appreciate a new name, so thank you so much for being here. Michelle Cameron, I appreciate you as well. Keith and Queen, I almost said something bad. Keith and Queen Brat, we haven't been given a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. Love you, Adam, Dex, Mods, and Foogle fam. Keep up the amazing work you do. Keith and Queen, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope Queen has fully recovered from her injury. I really do appreciate you guys. I still will never forget that. So awesome. And then Melissa DC, thank you for being the last one out last time with a $10 super chat. And I don't think I got to you last show. So thank you. MG Toe Forever. Love all of you. And then Lola Cafe and Liz Gaspari. That is horrible. Gaspari Nutrition says, love you guys. Adam Dex, hugs to my Foogle fam. And then Watchwoman for Jesus says, Marf, tell about my channel. I keep warning of Egypt. Watchwoman, I won't say it until I look at your channel, but I would love to go look over. I think you called in before, so I will make sure to go check it out. And yes, I love seeing new channels. Then we have Navy's top officers says mysterious drones that swarm destroyers remain unidentified. There is further evidence that there will be no evidence of what these were. I believe it was China. That is my personal opinion on this one. Some have on Reddit kind of created these boards and talking about this. For whatever reason, this is gaining traction because the people there said that these were like something they've never seen before. I believe that they were drones that, if you don't, Dex, do you remember this story? So the one thing that they knew is that these things had huge, long battery lives and that they stayed up for a long time. So that kind of ruled out that it was a, a consumer device. It wasn't like a DJI. It wasn't a Inspire or anything like this. It wasn't one of the bigger...
I can't imagine it would be consumer device. And only that, they'd probably be able to figure out real quickly whose it was and what type of devices they were, right?
Well, most of the time. If it was FPV, then they probably wouldn't have even noticed it because FPVs are usually smaller. I mean, I guess they have made, and there are people that have made homemade ones that are not GPS. But if it was any kind of consumer device, almost all of them have GPS and won't even let you take off unless it does. Now they have this whole ID system, and I wonder if that kind of ties into why this is happening. They are having in the future. You won't even be able to do FPV. In fact, that last caller was an FPV drone operator. They are actually fighting back right now with a huge lawsuit because they feel like it's impeding on the sales of small businesses. Like, I think the one guy who's the main guy, he won't be able to sell FPV equipment because people won't be able to make their own because they won't be able to kind of go to this standard, which means that you wouldn't be able to compete with these huge companies. I think that's why the grounds that they're on. Do you know?
Yeah, well, and yeah, absolutely, and that alone is a totally different subject. But yeah, it's a big deal because the FAA is coming down on it. But the whole fact of these potentially being FPVs or man-made, I should say consumer-built drones, most of those, and you probably know this on the FPV side, they don't last that long in the air. They're very short run because they're high speed. Now there is a whole long distance version of FPV, but
30 minutes an hour max.
It's rare, right?
Yeah, and we're talking about 30 minutes an hour max. Even the big professional ones that they use on movie sets, you're talking about maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. If somebody knows of one that is longer than that, then please let me know. As of now, the technology does not serve well. So if it was something bigger, then you would have to rule out that. It would have to be either government, some sort of technology or battery technology that we haven't seen yet, or they actually experimented with this, and we covered this in a previous show. We even had a caller call in about all these previous devices that we had as far back as the 70s. We had a nuclear-powered drone plane that was the size of about an eagle, and this thing was nuclear-powered, so it was never needing any kind of recharge. It could go forever. It's kind of the same thing that they say that this new Russian nuke is, a bigger version of. It's a nuclear-powered glider that just keeps going, and it doesn't ever stop. It doesn't never need to be recharged. It could go flying for 30 years and never need a charger. They did that back in the 70s, so we're talking about 50 years ago. What kind of technology do you think that they have today with the small capacitors and the small chips that they do have now? Think about what they could do. I mean, they're making insect-sized drones. I wonder what the heck this was. What, were they extraterrestrial, or were they Chinese or Russian or another country? If you think these drones, again, I'll read this part and then I'm going to have you guys vote. It says a series of bizarre events off of Southern California in 2019 remain unexplained, according to the Chief of Naval Operations. It says that at a roundtable with reporters today, Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Michael Gilday, and again, this is a big deal. They're still talking about it. They're still getting questions asked. The U.S. Navy's top officer was asked about a series of bizarre incidents that took place in July 2019 and involved what only have been described as drones swarming American destroyers off the coast of Southern California. The Warden was the first to report in detail on the series of mysterious events after the incident was originally uncovered by filmmaker Dave Beatty. Asked by Jeff Schogel and Task and Purpose if the Navy had positively identified any of the aircraft involved, Gilday responded by saying, "No, we have not. I am aware of those sightings, and as it has been reported, there have been other sightings by aviators in the air and other ships, not only the United States, but other nations, and of course, other elements within the U.S. Joint Force." So they're seeing these things all over the place, and they don't know what the heck they are. So that's kind of a big deal as far as not knowing what the hell is up there. And again, now China has the technology to do these swarms. Absolutely scary. In fact, you see kind of the videos of what they're doing for advertisements. I believe it was Genesis. It might have been a Hyundai Genesis, where they had thousands of drone, and it was Guinness World Book of Records drone show. In fact, let me try to pull it up. This was just recently, either today or yesterday. Let's see here. Record-breaking drone show. Okay, so let's see here. Was that March? No. Genesis, yes, it was Genesis, and this was 2 days ago. So, but the point is, yes, this is very cool, right? But the other point is, if this is the kind of technology they're doing for advertisements, think about what they could do for war. This is scary to a point. I mean, these are all lights on individual drones. They are programmed to go in exact places in the air. They are designed to work together. And they are designed to fly basically in formations that no humans could do. I mean, this is like the AI version of, the Blue Angels as far as the flying that's involved. These things can do absolutely amazing things. But the scary part about this is when this is used as a weapon. You're talking about if the payload that even my DJI Mavic 2 Pro has, that thing can hold up. I mean, I think it can even lift a gallon of milk, which you don't think about that. A gallon of milk isn't that, that crazy, but that's like 3 pounds or something like that. That's a item this big. Imagine if that same 3 pounds was, say, explosives. That's scary. And then think of the number that went into just this show. And this is just for show. This isn't, the full manufacturing power of a country like China. Each one of these little dots is a single drone. That, my friends, is a scary thought. And this is something we will see in our lifetime. We will see this happen, and we will see attacks with this. Very soon, you are going to see the first, and you can remember, you go, oh man, Marf said this. I have already talked to military that said that they are experiencing these, and they're not going public with them yet. So they're talking about trucks that pull up, they go whoosh, and launch. Because a lot of the smaller fights are basically getting calls between countries, and they're going, okay, we're not going crazy over that. That happened, and they push it under the rug. We get in altercations with other countries all the time. And then they call, they cover it up, they don't talk about it. They've already dealt with drones, and drones are scary. That's why the Congress and everybody else is talking about them, because drones don't have fear. Drones will come in. Drones can come in under radar. If they're single drones with large amounts of some substance, think about this. If you wanted to do a bio attack like what they did in the simulation, where they said if China did it this way, we would lose fast. This was a real military war game that was done last fall. They could do it all with drones. They wouldn't even have to come close. And think about it this. If you can lift a jug of milk, could you lift a little tiny vial, or even better, a little tiny plastic baggie with powder? That powder's so crazy deadly that, that it's supposed to be in a lab either in Georgia or Russia. And Russia just happened to explode last year. Who knows, right? And then we invested $2.8 billion in smallpox, because it's eradicated in 1980. Because, we need those for something that's eradicated. Loyal to the Foil says, if they admit the drones weren't ours, then they are telling China and Russia that they weren't ours as well. We also have militarized drone swarms, by the way. Yes. Oh, no. And I should clarify, when I say that China has these, we have them. We have crazy stuff. Think about what DARPA does. And again, I made a comment the other day. They have a fleet of dogs. Our DARPA dogs that people have put all over social media, and these DARPA dogs, the robot dogs, can open doors. And they did a silly video just a couple months ago where they were dancing to a classic rock song. I tweeted their army of dogs, and it was, hundreds. And I said, yeah, that's pretty scary. And they're probably not spending millions of dollars to organize a hard rock dance on it. They're having those things drill and drill how to take things out. They're putting things on them. I believe we have everything they have. I don't think they have a leg up on us. The one thing I think that they are very strong with is manufacturing. That is their strong suit. And they have no kind of ribbons to cut through. If they want to take a factory by force and say, hey, you're no longer making toys, you are going to be making weapons now, they can do that. If they want to take 200 fishing vessels and say, hey, you're not a fishing vessel anymore, now you are property of the motherland, or whatever their nickname for the heavenly mandate. You're part of the heavenly mandate, and now your business is now working for the government. And guess what? They don't get to protest and hold up little signs. They just have to do it. I mean, they could protest, but where's that going to get you? Broken Arrow, Air Force's first hypersonic missile, fails during inaugural test. Now, I wouldn't let this get anybody down because obviously they have a lot of secret stuff that is doing splendidly. But they publicly test. I don't even know why they publicly tested and then publicly said it failed unless it leaked. That is something that you would also not want to tell the other guys. The prototype missile never left the wing of the B-52H boomer, carrying it during the hugely anticipated test. One other thing is, why are we still using these B-52s for stuff like this? You would think that we would have some sort of new advanced thing. It seems like not this admin or the last one, even the one before that, they had a chance to do something really great with advancements, and I was looking at some of the contracts that got won, and it was like they totally just wasted their money. They reduced our military, and they didn't go for the right stuff. Well, others did. It's almost like it was planned. It says the U.S. Air Force hotly anticipated first live fire flight test of a prototype AGM air-launched rapid response weapon hypersonic missile, or Arrow, was unsuccessful. The service says that there was an issue on the aircraft. Well, no duh. It's a B-52. I don't know how new these things are. I don't know if they've kept the same design of B-52 for 40 years, but seems to me like, maybe it was just an issue with the aircraft. Maybe this is an excuse for them to go in front of Congress and go, hey, we need B-53s. Who knows? Dex, do you have an opinion on Arrow or anything regarding that you've seen lately? I know that you've got you're busy with the phones over there, so chime in whenever you want. In the meantime, thank you, and thank you to everybody over on DLive. Ski Ball, thank you so much. Earth Observer, just because. Thank you, I appreciate that. K Zaj, thank you, says, was late tonight, but I still love you all. Well, thank you, K Zaj. Did I say that right? Kezaj. I don't know why. That name now just rings. That was almost an awesome Freudian slip, Kimberly Clemens says. I think you're talking about the king and queen brat. Yeah, that would have been bad. Or maybe the other one. Ski Ball, thank you so much. And Kimberly Clemens, again, thank you for your support. Durango, Nibiru, Earth Observer. We've got Leah Walls. Thank you for gifting out Marfia badges there. Chewy Weather, thank you for resubbing for another month on a 15-month sub streak. Chewy Weather, that is one of the longest. I saw a 12-month or 11-month the other day. Thank you. That's huge. That's seriously like some dedication. Kelly2334, thank you so much for the Ninja Genie. Lady G476, and of course Brian Susmich says, playing God when you're not is never good. So it's not a good thing. Definitely cloning people. Saying that cloning people is not a good thing. And a lot of people agree with you, I'm sure. And then we have nothing to see here. This is a bigger story than anybody is saying. And these are the kind of stories that are like, okay, how do we address this? This is what I'm talking about as far as how they are just whoosh, swooshing it. Nothing to see here. DHS deletes announcements of T suspects arrested at border. You can go back through our shows over the last year and you can see that we have, in fact, 2 years now. 2 years and 2 months ago, I said that we had really good info from somebody who did not want to come forward. Did not want fame, did not want to be mentioned, did not want a shout out. And this person basically said that this certain country that starts with an I was also going to be using other countries to send in people from wherever they could, and they were going to use the refugee status to try to get them in. Sleeper cells. These two men were from Yemeni, and apparently maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they're officially going to come out and say, oh, they weren't actually part of a T group. Maybe they just had really, really specific tattoos. Who knows? This, again, was a big deal. Dex, what do you think about them deleting the announcement of T suspects? Again, they did this and everybody noticed. It wasn't secret. It was like, we're just going to delete that and try to think that nobody sees it.
Well, I think it's certainly interesting. I mean, like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's just like nothing ever happened here?
Pretty much. If they delete it, then it's gone. It's just not in the record.
Yeah, like just to revise it. Like it didn't happen. Nothing to see here. Move along.
I think that there is a much bigger operation going to grab these guys as they come in. They say that all of this surveillance that we go through on a daily basis is because of things like this. Maybe they caught it, quietly took care of it, and then closed it up. Is that what happened? I don't know. What do you think? Say yeah. What do you think about it? And then Majorly Stoned says, Revelations 9:7 drones. Ooh, I don't know that one off the top of my head. Voz Shadow, I'll have to check that out. Queen BTP, thank you so much, and thank you for being on the top 5 last night. Lady G476, thank you, Marf. And then Jem, thanks for making every show. I really appreciate you. Unicorn Forest, and again, Jem, somebody like you, let me know if you do a roll call right now. Where are you guys from? What country? I know Jem's in Europe. Where are you guys at? Are you in the U.S.? Are you in Australia, New Zealand? Where are people at? Are you in France? Let me know. I'll read off some in a second here. What do you think about them deleting this, though? This is really, really weird. That is just creepy. And then, okay, here. Let's see here. Let's go to this. We're going to go to the next caller, and then I'm also going to pop into the chat here. Austin, Texas. We've got Cornwall, UK. I love it. Florida. We've got Canada, Louisiana, Wyoming, True Blue, Aussie. That's awesome. True Blue Aussie. That's Australia. A lot of Australia. A lot of Canadians. What is going on? North Carolina, Colorado, Nevada, BC, Shastina, northern. So fast. Bahamas. I love it. Kentucky, says Lorna. Rapture ready. What is going on? We've got all sorts of people here. Ed Brown from Illinois, Michigan, Long Island, West Virginia, says Street Mom. Peggy. We've got people from all over the world. You guys are amazing. Vancouver in the house. Thailand, Tennessee here, Lancaster, Ohio, Malaysia. Oh, hey, Don. Thank you for coming tonight. Emmy Moon from Texas first. I think FTW, Texas. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. I love you. Keith and Queen Brat, thank you. Thank you guys. Lakeland, Florida. What an awesome, awesome place. I visited there once and went to the Intercoastal after that. I went to Tampa. I went all sorts of places over there. So this is really creepy. Your smart home is watching and possibly sharing your data with the police. If anybody has remembered what we were covering, let people know. We talked about this and the patents, and we knew from the patents that this was going to happen, and now it is. All right, let's go over to the caller. We have looks like we have Kevin Fuglefam, and Kevin Fuglefam, I believe, has a video of Russia and China.
Hey there.
Hey, Kevin, what's going on?
Well, I made a little video diagramming out what you have, well, we've all been suspecting and thinking to ourselves what's going on throughout the world. That, you know, you got these different sides picking territories to take apart, and really once you put it down on paper, it really makes sense as to what our trade routes, what how our world economy works, it makes sense once you see it.
Now, as far as this video, it says war games that win on one side. Now, how so?
Well, you got the bear and the red star. They're pretty much fighting over who's going to go into the next century. It's not what's 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road. It's 2200 that they want to look at. 2100, 2200. How do they get a grip on the entire world? And the way how our technology is driven, it's so easy to take everything apart and rebuild it quickly. And the only problem with it is the populations that are dictating what we're going to do and what we're not going to do in our own countries. And then they see those as just roadblocks, with our current administration, the way how Europe is being ran, South America is just.
So let me ask you a question. Do you see Russia and China, them looking at each other, talking secretly, and saying, "Hey, it's going to be me and you in 2100. We need to get rid of this common kind of enemy, the Western world." Is that what you're saying? And again, they say that we will have a totally different world in just 30 years. So by 2100, if you've seen what scientists say, and of course, that could totally be BS, but there are guaranteed things, like facts of certain things that they know will change. We may have a lot less drinking water and have to have desalination plants. Do you think that they are looking at this as kind of a short-term map that goes into a long-term picture? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You look at what, the news of today throughout Renee's channel or Renee Thomas or anybody's channel is what are they doing up on the poles? What are they doing in the North Pole? What are they doing in the South Pole? It's about trade routes, water, and mineral rights. And as soon as they have the ice clearing, some people want to say it's this or that. It doesn't really matter. It's happening. Once the ice clears, then they want to be the first ones to the top. They want to be able to control whose ship's coming in and going out on the north and on the south and through the canals.
See, the normal person doesn't realize. People don't realize how important these choke points are, these waterways. Now, I see you writing a graph on your video talking about Panama, talking about, of course, Suez. Now, Panama is basically China's. We talked about this the other day, and if you don't know about world geography, don't feel bad. A lot of people don't. But what would you say about these waterways?
Simply. Yeah, you look at why are all those individuals coming up through the South? They're escaping through terrorism. Why is there so much terrorism to force people out of there? It's because, whenever you have a mass migration throughout history, it's before, during, or after the conflict.
Again, just to warn you, the T word is a big one for YT, but that's okay. Just keep going. I try to say T, and then you know what I'm saying. You've watched for a long time. Kevin Fuglefam's been around for a long time. Well, Kevin, I've not seen many of your videos, to be honest, and I did not realize that you were stepping out and you were. I know you've probably told us before, or maybe called in before and told us, but I really think it's cool that you have done a video explaining your views on this. And again, even it's something so simple as getting a pen and paper out and doing a diagram that could help people learn what you know and what knowledge you have in your head. So I think that's really great. I was just talking to a friend of mine who is a big YouTube creator, and I told him too. I said, sometimes we just need to get the cell phone out and do a video. And he agreed. Some of us, we don't need the high production value. Sometimes we just need to get that out.
It got mysteriously disappeared. So I had to start fresh, and it's okay. I got my homies.
Hey, well, Kevin Foogle fam, I love you, and thank you so much for calling in today. I'm going to direct everybody over. I didn't realize we haven't love mobbed you yet. I guarantee we haven't, because you're only at 15. Kevin is always really polite and really awesome, and he's a very smart guy. Everybody needs to go over and check out Kevin Foogle fam.
Yeah, I'm usually watch Renee Thomas's channel, and I'm hanging out with Rip, and
I know Rip is
all the Foogles.
Rip is my favorite favorite mod. Now I've said both of them are my favorite. Yeah. They're all buddy. No, actually Bones is my favorite. West Virginia is my favorite.
Yeah, Bones.
Lisa's
is your favorite.
my favorite.
Rip's mine.
Chance is my favorite.
I go to starting his channel. I was like, come on, dude, you're gonna get like 1,000 subs in the first 10 minutes.
Well, I hope that everybody does, and I hope you keep doing these videos. I really do appreciate you, Kevin, and you've been here for a long time. I've said your name I don't know how many times, so thank you so much for being here, and thank you for backing us up, and thank you for going. I know, and thank you for going and really being in part of this community and with all of us, Renee Thomas and all of the folks out there like Rip Curl. Again, thank you so much. Kevin, it's been nice talking to you again. I hope that everybody rushes over and goes over to Kevin Foogle fam's channel.
Another is Survival Living.
Oh, yeah.
He just put out a video talking about what's going on and what you can do to help yourself. Don't be scared. Be prepared, right? Have your iodide, some apple juice. Apple juice helps clean out, after everything happens. Take a cup of apple juice every day, and it'll clean you out. They found that out during Chernobyl. That's the best way to cleanse your system after big things happen.
Well, hey, it was great talking to you, Kevin. I'm going to check on your channel at the end of the show. I really appreciate you. And again, we'll see where the two channels that we mentioned. His channel will also be on the website. We update it live, so if it's not on there yet, by the end of the show, everything you are seeing here today is actually being added to the website as we go. This is live. It is 8:01 p.m., of course, Pacific time. This will be updated. So if it's your first time here, understand that we put a lot of work into the show. We do appreciate if you like and share, if you would like to do so. Even dislikes help engagement. So thank you so much for everybody that is here. And it looked like we had over 3,000 over on YouTube, probably 1,000 over on DLive, I would hope. But again, if not, that's fine. Kelly2334, thank you so much. Kelly2334. I can't say it enough. Thank you for your massive support. Looks like over on DLive. And that Chowky Gal, Bear Lover 9000, Akarushi. Thank you, everybody over on DLive, my DLive fam. We are going to be doing a DLive only show this week again, which is going to be a little bit more, unpolished. So keep informed on that by going to the website and signing up for our alerts. If you want to support us in a different way, please make sure to go over to check out NordVPN. Again, we picked this one because it was so highly rated, but not only that, it was the easiest. Once you download it, it's just an on and off switch. You can go advanced and put yourself in the Philippines if you want to see the Philippines Netflix videos or whatever you want to do with it. But you can also use easy mode. It's just on and off. So you don't have to be a genius. I'm not good with apps and setting up protections and firewalls and things. So that's why I usually let somebody else do it for me. But this is a great VPN. It's so easy. You can use it on your kids' phones, your kids' devices, all sorts of things. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Use the code Marfoogle to get upwards of 70% off on a 3-year plan. And Dex, do you? By the way,
you know they've updated that sale. I just looked. You actually can get the 3rd year for free on a 2-year plan.
Oh, no way.
It's like the best time. It was like an Easter sale or something going on. It's the best time. I just realized it.
Well, we've had the same thing for so long, and even some of the bigger, like Casey Neistat works with Nord. We were very, very cool to have Nord, such a awesome company, and that's been kind of their thing. And you could technically choose a different creator to get that discount through. But the fact that so many of you have chose us for some of your affiliates, like, we really do appreciate it, and it helps us. We don't have any back. You guys are our backbone. So it really is a great thing, and thank you. We are trying to expand. That would be a great to do.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer that sale's going, but it looks really good. So I just wanted to make sure people knew.
Now, there's a couple stories here that are a little too high. I do want to hit briefly on Russia in the Arctic. Now, that buildup, people have said that basically this buildup was bigger than they said. Oh, they said about the bases. They said that the bases. Oh, we knew about that a year ago or 2 years ago. Yes, the bases we knew about, but the buildup as of last month to this month, they have put so many ships and so many submarines there that they are amassing. That's the word that, my military buddies have used. They said that they are amassing, and we are seriously concerned about it. This isn't a secret. We showed you that the European Command said that they are on their highest alert level. The equivalent of back when, remember when we had color-coded systems like, what's the threat level today? Well, they have a similar system, but this is for the European Command. They said it is on the highest level, a possible imminent crisis. So very, very big stuff going on. Dex, as far as the stuff that's gone over the last week, can you take a break from the phones for a second and just tell us, kind of an update on what you've heard as well?
Well, it's really clear that there's a multi-point front happening across many different regions. Like, we're getting ourselves engaged in 3 different major national, world locations, whether it be the ME, whether it be Europe. We've got Europe crying right now, asking for us to support them because they don't have their own nukes. They rely on us, and they've got, Russia basically breathing down their necks right now. We've been scrambling jets. NATO's been scrambling jets over and over and over again. In one day, they did it 10 times. And then we've got everything happening down in the South China Sea, right? Which that's been going on, but it's really about Taiwan. And it's not just going to stop there. It's the rest of, the continent basically over there, as that expansion, that world expansion continues to happen. So, we've got to be paying attention to what is being orchestrated, not only by our own, military, but what's being orchestrated by the other or adversaries, and how are they trying to, position things and make things, easier for themselves to make land grabs or to take over. I mean, wow, did we, 2 years ago, we were like, oh yeah, Hong Kong's doing its own thing, right? HK's fine, right? And now look at it. It's totally
it's
different.
part of China
Everything
now.
Has changed.
It is now official China.
Yeah, you would have really thought you just boiled the frog, right? It just happened, and it just looks like that boiling pot is continuing to roll across more and more areas, and that's sort of what we've got to be paying attention to right now, and that's what the everything's lining up, and it's sort of obvious, and
that's why
really
we
talking about.
That's why we said that everything is lining up. It's not what they said over the last few years. There was always these times where it kind of peaked, and of course people talked about it in the media, and they said this might come close. We have never had all of that kind of peak roller coaster on top of a worldwide event that everybody thinks there's something going on. There is something happening. On top of everything happening, there is this event that happened that just crushed the economy of the entire planet. Here's the thing. If you're in all those countries, we just did a roll call in, most of them are kind of in this funnel of information. We are being protected. This is how they look at it, protected from some of the more serious information. But a lot of it is leaking out. There are several cities all over the world that are pushing back against everything. They are protesting. There's riots in the streets all over the world. This is the reality of where we are. It's not this bachelorette, sit at home, watch Netflix in lockdown. There are people out there causing havoc, and they're doing it for the right reasons, in my opinion. It's craziness, and a lot of it is being filtered out.
And to add to that, Adam, the other thing, because you and I scour the news daily. We're looking through everything. And what's on the screen right now is all anybody's talking about, right? And when you go into the main, it's like really hard to sort of dig up these things. We'll get the big headlines like the Suez Canal thing, but there's a lot of these other things that are happening, and they're really just not being covered. They're not being covered at the same level you would expect it to be covered if it's major national news. It's sort of like everybody's being distracted with, hey, look at this other stuff. Let's talk about CB,
because it directly affects them, right? It directly affects them. Whatever affects us, we are vain in a way where, oh, this is going to affect my daily life. But what about the things that are affecting the planet? What about the things that are affecting our future? People are totally okay. So what was it? Who were we talking to the other night? Man, it was such a great conversation. Lloyd, one of my now good friends and a very talented artist that is just an amazing guy. He worked in missionaries. He went all over the world. He's from South Africa. He's just an amazing guy. He was saying that they looked at things and they said, basically, if something comes out, somebody that he talked to and it was an ex kind of spy or a government agent type of thing, and he said, this is what they've done, and they've seen operations like this where they would do some sort of secret operation and they would expose it. They would actually expose it in the news because the mindset was that if they don't expose it or if they don't bring it up, that people think that if it's brought up and that they put it on the news, then something is being done about it. So they can just bring it up and say, oh my gosh, this happened. And everybody goes, oh, well, the news showed it. So, something's going to happen. Something's going to fix it. Something's going to be done about it. But in reality, they do that because, oh, well, they got attention. If you don't expose something, if something doesn't leak out, and this is why I think mainstream does leak out real stuff, then people dig and they don't stop asking questions. And that is the exact point they had. It is all, think about how crazy some of your college classes were, the most deep down and most complex things. That is what level they are running on. And by they, I mean the people running the planet. They are into psychology. They are into, herding millions of people like cows. They really do go the extra mile to think of how to control millions of people. In their opinion, they have to. Because if not, the planet would be just nomads, right? This is their opinion. We are sheep to them. Even people like Elon Musk realize that we are sheep. Earth Observer, thank you so much. And then we hit 34,000 followers over on DLive. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys, everybody, for your support over there. Looks like we had some really awesome people tonight so far. Kelly2334, thank you. Roholio is already at 1.5 thousand lemons and has not even been shouted out yet. I do apologize about that, Roholio. Looks like you probably did a Ninja Genie. Vault111, thank you again. I don't know if you're streaming tonight, but if you wanted to, we don't have a host lined up. Earth Observer, Brian Susmalich, thank you so much, you guys. I really do appreciate that. And another big supporter over on YouTube, LJ Angulo. You didn't, Angulo, I hope I said that right. You didn't even put a message there. You can always put a message there. If that was a mistake in any way, thank you so much. Did a $50 super chat. Again, if that was a mistake, let us know. Sometimes people put a zero on that. Usually it's 5. So thank you so much. And that is really appreciated. We are truly independent. But I do want to let you know that if that was an accidental, you can fix that within your YouTube. I do appreciate you. Thank you. Anwa, thank you so much for your support. Jesse Pinkman. Every time I see your name, I obviously think of, what do you call it? Breaking Bad. Love the Foogle fam. As always, great show, brother. Thank you so much. Loyal to the Foil. Say, if they admit the drones, got that one. Curious Seeker. Check out show Debris on NBC. Alien craft parts with different powers crashing to the earth. Weird. Connie Easley. Remember when they wouldn't let your wife in that store without looking into the camera? Connie Easley. Yes, I do. And I wanted calls like that. So my wife could not go in to this gas station in Tacoma without her looking directly into a camera and them having facial recognition used. That's not BS. I videotaped the whole thing and I documented it. They say that it is one of their model stores, and this is going to be all over the country. This was in a very bad neighborhood, so what they do is they have you look in the camera and it takes a picture and then it opens the doors. The people don't have power. You have to look at the camera. If you don't believe me, I'll show you video evidence on a previous video. In fact, Dex edited that video for me. That was crazy. Do you remember that, Dex? I specifically mentioned that scenario.
Not only that, you called me when you were there. You're like, I can't believe this is happening. Yeah,
you could not get in.
That was crazy.
I even went to the side and knocked, and I said, "Can you do it without me looking up? Like, I have to look at the thing." And she's like, "Yes, we don't control it." The employee didn't control it. She could lock it. She says, I can close it and I can lock somebody in the store, but I can't open it. You have to look at the facial recognition camera. And then it turns green and it goes, and it opens. At like a Shell station, just a regular gas station, but it was the only one, and we were in a really bad neighborhood in Tacoma. Just really bad. So you have to do what they say, right? Just absolutely nuts. And I couldn't film there. She said I could not film. They pushed me off of the property. I even asked for permission, and they said no, and we need you to leave. Teresa Wrench, thank you so much. Vanessa Doe, everyone, please call your state reps about these passports. They will be like social credit score. That's right. Cynthia Clark, the G-Man, to only want you to fear one thing, Miss Rona. Do not fear, smile. Cynthia Clark, I agree. And then we've got, of course, Americans worrying about catching drops to record low. Well, I could tell that by going to my local grocery store. That's for damn sure. Marfooglenews.com/edec if you want a bag that actually makes your device completely untrackable. Bam, you got it right there. Once you put your device inside one of these bags, it is completely off-grid. You can put either a laptop, or they have smaller bags for your phones. They even have the tried-and-true utility bag that they've been actually... they even have agencies like FBI use these as evidence bags because they are so secure. So the bad guy doesn't access their laptop in evidence room and delete all the evidence. That's again, they have a utility one with a window so you can access your phone. Not too many people have discovered these, but this is a good thing if you do not want... In the future, I think that these are going to be way, way bigger. Because now they're already doing geofence warrants. Again, geofence warrants are basically where they can... say a murder happens at 7-Eleven. Well, 3 months down the road, they have cameras and it doesn't really show anything, but they checked the towers and they found 3 cell phones within 50 feet of this murder. So then you get pulled into court on a geofence warrant, Google it, and they say, well, you were in this area and you possibly are a suspect now. This is the future of crime fighting. And remind you, again, this is insane. It says you may have a roommate you have never met, and even worse, they are nosy. They track what you watch on TV, they track when you leave the lights on in the living room, and they even track whenever you use a key fob to enter the house. This is the reality of living in a smart home. The house is always watching, always tracking, and sometimes it offers that data up to the highest bidder, or even to the police. It says this problem stems from the U.S. government buying data from private companies, a practice increasingly unearthed in media investigations through still quite shrouded in secrecy. It's relatively simple, and of course it is in a country like the United States without strong privacy laws. Approach a third-party firm that sells databases of information on citizens, pay them to use it, and then, of course, use the data however deemed fit. The Washington Post recently reported, citing documents uncovered by researchers at the Georgetown School of Law, that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been using this very playbook to buy up hundreds of millions of phone, water, electricity, and other utility records while pursuing immigration violations. Now, Dex, I could see how this could be used two ways, right? This could be used to push like, oh, this isn't right. They shouldn't be doing this to catch immigrants. At the same time, yeah, I think that there's a lot more use that's a lot scarier than the immigration using it. I think that,
yeah, I mean,
that's
look,
almost one of the
privacy
reasonable
should
ones.
be king, right? And it's not. And this type of technology, while it has its uses, and if you deploy it in a way that you control the privacy, you can actually get good functionality out of this stuff, and you can do what you want with it. But it's when it completely invades, your rights and sort of changes the way we think of having privacy and private rights, that sort of goes away. It gets thrown right out the door with some of this stuff, no matter who you are.
I don't get that people accepted this. And just like I think that, they're telling us about extraterrestrials, or at least what they want us to think of as extraterrestrials, they told us much before. They let out little things, tiny little snippets, and we got used to the idea. That's another thing that's psychology when you're looking down on millions of people and you're in control of it. 6 families control all media. They do all the same things. If you've ever seen the video, and I think that everybody should at least see some of the clips that people put together, that one video I think is more powerful than anything. And if you don't know what video I'm talking about, it's a video of all of these news stations across the country, all these local news stations across the country, talking about a very controversial subject, but yet every word out of their mouth for a minute and a half is the exact same line. And you have a clip of 60 newscasters across the country, all different stations, all different competitors, all saying the exact same line about something that shaped how we thought, something that shaped social media even, how things that shaped the world for those kind of months. One of those subjects that basically, changes how the United States looks at things, right? Might even change laws. Every single one of them had a script. And you know this because how else, unless they just straight up says, well, we don't hire people to do writing or anything. We should just copy what they said verbatim. And what this video did is it compiled all of the videos on top of each other, and it stacked these videos, and it showed one person after another saying the same line, saying it's extremely disturbing and blah, blah, blah. And it was the exact same words, everything about it, the cadence, the pauses, everything. What does that tell you? That means they're in control. Well, the same kind of psychology that's being used is being used on information. Your information is being used, and we have given it up. We use thumb scanners for our phones. We use facial recognition to open our Facebook. I mean, this is stupid. But we did it to ourselves. I'll be honest. I think that we did it. Nobody fought when it should have been fought for. So just remember that when you're fighting for the next one.
Yeah. I got sorry about that. I put a timestamp video of your wife looking up at the camera. It's in Screener. I found it by searching facial recognition on marfooglenews.com.
Okay. And by the way, so we always try to remind you, our website is such an awesome resource. Any of the previous episodes, this is why we thank you for supporting, because we do put a lot of time into this. Dex does a great job with the website. You go to search, and then you can type in facial recognition, and it will pull up a show from a year ago on this. And then boom, it shows up all of the shows that we've talked about facial recognition. Facial recognition will be on your front porch. This was February 6, 2019. What happened to my wife is unacceptable. Look at that. Boom. I found it myself just by going to our website just as fast. So check this out. Oh, and you got the timestamp. So I'll load the timestamp. Look at this. This is insanity. What's up, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marv.
What's
the
timestamp?
Marfoogle News. Right now, we're going to talk about
Hang on one
why
second.
I will... Let's see here. This is so crazy. And the reason why is their system actually picked her up as somebody else that, and this is from what the gentleman inside said, that she was picked up as somebody who was a previous thief. Obviously, we don't live there. We've never been to this gas station ever before, so we thought it was pretty wild. So I'm actually going to plug this in real quick, and I'm going to get you the audio. This is pretty crazy. So again, she was mistaken for a thief at this Tacoma thing we've never been to. My wife hasn't even gotten well, she's gotten one parking ticket. She's gotten one, what do you call it, where the camera tickets that when you drive through or something, or drive around a corner. I think what happened is she drove around a corner and she didn't stop for a full 3 seconds. So it took a picture and it ticketed her, right? That's the extent of her criminal record. All of it. She has not ever even been pulled over. Ever. That is insane to me. I've been pulled over so many times, but, usually for stupid stuff. And it comes along, it actually has audio of it says, well, I'll just let it play. Look at that. And of course, I like that it's a live show watching a live show that made mistakes.
Look at camera for entry.
Is that not?
Look at camera for entry. Look at camera for entry. Look at camera for entry.
That's my wife. Now this is my wife. And over here in the box is the actual, it turns green or red. This is my wife getting denied. You'll see on the right side, there's this little green lock that's open and a red lock that's open. And it was open, and then it caught her face, and it actually locked it. So I'm going to push play here.
Look at camera for...
So then she was stuck. She reaches, pulls like a dummy. Somebody's back at me and laughs. It's locked. And then again, it opens. So many people got mad because I called her a dummy. I was saying, anybody in that position is a dummy, right? You pull and it doesn't open, so you look like a dummy. Anyways, that's facial recognition, and we talked about this over the last year, and it's like, this is now getting to the point. We also talked very specifically. In fact, if you go over and you search facial recognition on our website, you'll find the 3 things that we mentioned, including the patents for Amazon. They are sharing this with the police. So now your smart home and your smart devices that make your life so easy are going to they're just basically going to give away that information. And watch, one of these days you'll be caught up in something and you'll be innocent, but one of your smart devices will make you uninnocent. That's scary to me. I'm sorry. I don't like the idea of this stuff. I'm sure you guys don't either. Kelly2334, thank you for massive support tonight. Thank you for even going further and far and beyond. I appreciate your support. Yoda Vision, thank you for celebrating a 2-month sub streak. And then again, thank you guys for 34,000 followers on DLive. That is amazing. And 9 If you guys have not gone over and followed me on DLive, make sure to go do so. Again, we are going to be doing a DLive only show later this week. Stormy7572, such love to Adam. Thank you so much for being there. To Adam and Mods, Foogle Fam rocks. And then, of course, Stand Strong Woman. Stay safe, marvelous Foogle Fam. End Times, hey, I shouted you out the other day. You weren't here, though, but I just appreciate you. And Cha Money and all those guys. Pandora White, thank you for following. Goldstone44, thank you for following. You guys are all awesome. Thank you. All right, Dex, let's get our next caller on. We'll take Chris. We need to be careful with this one, and I'll just let him know. Chris, I've got to be careful with you. I know you're listening there. Just because of that subject, and allegedly, supposedly, this is an idea that someone has, right? And then, while we're doing that, because Chris says that there is another creator, Hal T, that says that there is an alleged event in less than a month.
Can you hear me?
That is going to happen. So, Chris, we got to be very, very careful. Just go on the side of caution here, and then we're going to say that everything that you are saying basically is allegedly, apparently, or supposedly.
Okay.
So, what is it that he said was going to happen?
Within a month, I think he said by May 2nd, we would be hit by nuclear conflict from probably Russia, maybe the Red Star as well, but China is amassing troops, military, everything they need for an attack on Taiwan. Russia doing the same thing to Ukraine. Plus, Russia has all military in the Arctic showing force. It's just a matter of time before one starts, so that we'll be busy in Ukraine, and the other is going to attack Taiwan, and we'll be busy with both of them. And then I feel, and so does HT and Quail, that we will be attacked from the Arctic.
Now, Hal I don't know. I've Hal Turner used to have a huge radio show. I think he got forced out by kind of cancel culture, and then he's kind of built it back up on YouTube. What I think it was like they wouldn't let him on the radio or something. He had a big radio show. What I don't get is why would he that's pretty bold to put out a claim like that. So I'll have to check if that's exactly what he's saying, or if he's saying like allegedly this is what I heard. That is a huge claim. And by the way, what is lining up right now, that is kind of the worry in the back of all of our heads.
Confirmed it.
I'm sorry?
He said Steve Quayle said Steve Quayle says he has multiple sources that confirmed what he was saying. That is that's scary. But again, we got to make sure that we realize that, I'm surprised. I know Hal Turner has said he doesn't really, say things that are like absolute or anything usually. He's said some pretty big things, but they're never really absolute. So that's pretty freaky. I'll have to. I want to reach out to Hal Turner and we should try to get him on the show or something. Or that would be great.
Yeah, we've had Dex. Was it Hal Turner that? Which one was it that undid the story about that we had that one time? Was that the Hal Turner show? Dex, do you remember what I'm talking?
Was it the one with the Pentagon?
Yeah, with Hot Musket. Was it Hal Turner that undid it? and said.
It was, yep.
So what did Hal Turner say? They said
Well,
that the Pentagon directly called them and canceled that story?
Yeah, he called it. My understanding was something along those lines. That he had a contact at the Pentagon, talked to them. They said that they acknowledged that by saying it doesn't exist, which they don't normally acknowledge things. They would just no comment.
Huh. That's kind of weird.
That should tell you right there that it did exist.
Well, yeah. Why would the Pentagon call after hours? And then Hal Turner basically said that the person who did it, I felt like Hal Turner had to save his own butt and said, "Hey, there was an intern and they made a mistake, and we really apologize." Why would you do that? Anyways, but that was a side thing. And then 3 months later, we had troops, and they said National Guard at the border. But yet everybody said we were crazy. There's not been a deployment on U.S. grounds, and said Hot Musket was fake and all this. And when that was definitely, in my opinion, 100% real and covered. Well, I don't know what to say to that.
It's still real.
I know it is.
They still have troops on both of our borders.
That's what I feel too. Again, allegedly, supposedly, we are right. Well, hey, Chris, thank you for letting us know.
Also, to the drones you were talking about, if you was to type into your Spynet search there, killer drones, first thing's going to pop up is a video where they got the drones where they're talking about they can send them to attack people with a small amount of boom in them, just enough to take a person's head off.
Yep, they tried to take out the president, Duterte. I want to say, was it Duterte, the Filipino president that was had an attempt like that? Scary stuff. Yeah, they even had video of
Venezuela.
Also,
that's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, they still have those storage units that I talked about last time that I spoke with you, with the missiles and remote control drones, the remote control launch systems. They're scattered all over America. So it wouldn't take much. They don't even have to be here to launch an attack.
That's what I've been saying. And again, they have manufacturing power like no other country. They can manufacture these little tiny things that would fly for hours and hours and hours. And, they don't have to get all the way here. They could have carriers that have specifically that.
Yeah, but the storage containers that they have here in the United States has the missiles in them, along with the launching systems. They can be in Russia or wherever they want to be and still launch an attack, and a strategic attack to take out our grid, launch on military bases wherever they want to.
Yes, no, I agree with you.
Launch from Arctic or South China Sea, wherever they're at.
Well, Chris, again, we're out of time today, but I agree with you. I'm going to have to check out Hal Turner stuff. I have not seen any of his stuff. I know that, again, whether your view is good or bad, we do not talk badly about creators here. Again, I know that if somebody mentions my name in any other chat, people will say this or that. Again, I think Hal Turner does a better job. At least he writes articles. He tries to back up stuff with sources as much as he can. So again, that's kind of freaky, but I'll have to see the message for myself. Very freaky stuff. Thank you, Chris, for calling in, and thank you for sharing that with us. We will definitely look at that. With everything lining up, I mean, that's kind of what I would say what people are fearing right now. Why wouldn't they? They're amassing ships all over the world. I mean, it's kind of what we're getting at. What is about to happen? What are they preparing for? We have another very careful call. We got to be careful. He has risen. First-time caller talking about the is hitting an I tanker. And I'm going to actually write it on screen so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. Let's get he has risen on. And then I'm going to he has risen before we start here. I'm gonna kind of write some stuff on the screen here, So you're talking about is hitting an I ran to the store tanker. So I'm going to show this right here.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
Hey. So all of those are kind of filtered, crazy, controversial places. So I'm going to write it on here. What happened with that?
All right. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is certain big floaty thing that got stuck in the you-know-where by the you-know-what.
Yeah. Suez Canal.
Okay.
We can talk about that.
All right. Right before that, it drew a flatulence into the ocean, correct?
Yes.
Supposedly. Okay, I've seen the maps too. Now, if you draw a tip of that thing from where the end of it is, it goes right through southeastern Ukraine through Russia. Now, if you want to try that, go ahead. It's probably off maybe 100, 150 miles or whatever, but. And then, now my question is, the Chinese ships amassing off the Philippines, they've been, stuck together and stuff. There's an arrow pointing somewhere. Where's that arrow pointing? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's pointed towards Taiwan, I would think, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what they simulated in their drill last fall. Do you think that was a simulation, or do you think that was practice? Are we practicing for what they say? I mean, do we have information and they're just basically saying, hey, we think this is how it's going to happen, so we need to drill on it? Or do you think, oh, this is one of the millions of possibilities our think tank thought of how they would invade? No, I think they're looking at the current situation and what they're doing.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they, I mean, how are they going to simulate something that hasn't happened yet? You have to be prepared and know strategically what you're going to do and everything, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And they're going to go with the real situation.
But I'm telling you, that thing that it drew in the canal points northeast, really close to what's going on, popping off up in the, and then ships amassing off Philippines, man. Maybe there's an arrow there too. Maybe it connects to the islands that this certain place built with, ships, and it's pointing somewhere. That's what I think.
Well,
you're watch you guys the show, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, man. And I start looking into stuff, and I'm like, oh, man. They're so right. I want to put a shit out to Dex, though, man. He's awesome. He's freaking awesome.
Hey, I think you're awesome. And by the way, so many people call in and they're like nervous. You're like Matthew McConaughey calling into my show. Again, you're like, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
The world's about to end.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's mind blowing.
It's common sense,
like
kind
the
of
stuff going on. I mean, if you just listen to certain programs and take a little bit from each program, and if you're smart enough, you can just start putting the pieces together.
Thank you. These are all puzzle pieces, and it seems to me like it's a very obvious fit. It's not stretching. It's not stretching the imagination. It's putting 1 and 1 together to make 2. And what they do is so obvious when you look at the big picture. When we're looking down on it and they just put a cover story, if you just throw away the stuff that they say officially happens and just look at what actually happened, it goes, how do you not see? How do you sleep through and push snooze so many times that you can't see what is happening right now and what has happened over the last few years and how many rights and how many freedoms we've lost? And you look at the stories that came before them and you go, they told us. They showed us in mainstream media. That's why mainstream media is so important.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh. I've been following you guys for a while, dude. I knew there was a reason.
Hey, well, thank you for calling in. He has risen. I appreciate you, and we're out of time today. It's your first time call. Don't make it your last, okay?
Absolutely not, man. You guys take care. Dex, I love you, brother.
Love you too.
That was awesome.
We'll see you later.
Thank you. That was He Has Risen, and that was awesome. I love callers like that. Marfoogle News. I don't know why I just read my own channel name. It's getting late. Fun Size Cam, Priscilla R, I Love Beagles, Charlie 64, Kitty Woo is here tonight, Jerry, Recalcitrant. I like this one, Hot Sauce Jaws. Hot Sauce Jaws. Bear Claws. You and Hot Sauce Jaws should be screen name partners. Bear Claws and Hot Sauce Jaws. All right, I'm getting silly. It's been a longer show here. Dex, thank you again. Do you have anything to say besides let us know? How do we get to our web-only content? And you can't say anything because I muted you.
There we go. Yeah, no, it's, I said it last time. There's bonus. If you can't get enough, we got more. So just head over to marfooglenews.com and click on the thumbnail for this show. Heck, click on the thumbnail for the last show. All of them. And scroll down. Like, there's content that we can't cover, or we haven't covered, or there's more. It's bonus material. Go take a look. You'll get to see all the other topics that we just don't get to cover on the show live on TV. So check it out.
For a second, it says Yellen calls for minimum global corporate income tax. I really thought that it was like a new YOLO Ellen or something. All right, well, all of that stuff is right there for you to go to. A lot of great stuff. Awesome show today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for the top 5, Kelly2334, Earth Observer, Roholio, Vault 111, Brian Susmalich over on D-Live. And then, of course, thank you, and more thank yous to D-Tech. A prophet says, Matthew 10:16, behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves, therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You know what's really crazy? I believe I was just watching Jacob Israel's video on the little Nas X Satan shoes thing, and he used Matthew 10:18. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But that's basically talking about how the devil lost his power and got dropped from heaven. I think. Maybe look that up. It was 10. I thought it was Matthew 10:18, which was talking about that, which is kind of crazy. I thought Jacob Israel did a great job talking about that. WJ315, thank you, and thank you. And my 2-year-old is just going nuts up there. Sorry if you can't hear that. WJ315, thank you. Teresa Wrench, thank you. Watch Woman for Jesus. I did a vid warning on Panama Canal. I don't know what it means. I guess we'll see. Love you all. Thank you so much, Watch Woman for Jesus. Connie Easley, remember, they wouldn't let your wife in. Okay, got that one. I think I got everybody. Thank you so much. Bless everybody.
Did you catch the ones in screener?
Oh, that is right.
Yeah, and by the way, they've been stacking up. So.
Oh, I am so sorry. No. Wait a second. Okay, hold on. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So RenokeRaiden.com. We're going to get you tomorrow as well. Marf, read the book of Enoch. Thank you. Marie S. Christopher M. Thanks, Adam and Dex, for all you guys do. Best source for news. God bless you, and Jesus is coming sooner than we realize. Coyote21 says, Happy Easter blessings. Christian V, thank you so much. Sunny Beach Girl, Jammer1 put me on right on the chalkboard. I won't be late 100s. Detail for anybody who is late. I missed tonight's show, and now we are having a second sang. I won't miss a show, because if I do, I'll owe Marf some dough. Oh my gosh. I won't miss a show, because if I do, I'll owe Marf some dough. That is very cute, Sunny Beach Girl. You know you don't have to do that. Love the Foogle fam. I was on Chalkboard Patrol Thursday night. Fun size cam helped. I had to remind everyone that they needed their own school supplies. And Gilly brought all the chalk. Rough crowd, LL. Sunny Beach Girl, one thing I really love is that you guys have found friends in the Foogle fam, and you guys actually do these things, and this is exactly why this has gone so well, is because people have made friends with like-minded people in our audience. That is, I think, the key to success. I think that other YouTubers, they're trying to focus on success, when if you just focus on people, then that's what happens. People look at it as sub counts. I need more subs. Those subs, that number that makes you a more important person, those are people. And that's what I think that a lot of people are lost on. Maddie's Mommy 14, thank you, says, I have been listening for almost 3 years now. Usually the replay every day at work while I groom dogs. I can't always donate, but I can right now. And I want to make sure that you and Dex know how much I appreciate everything you do. Maddie's Mommy, thank you, and thank you. Brant O, Dorothy R, thank you guys. Karen W, Lisa K23, and Kevin C. Thank you guys all for going over to PayPal and helping us over there as well. I can't say enough thank yous for that. That is for dang sure. Brian Susmalich, all of you guys, I'll be shouting you out here in just a second. Dex, how much time do we have?
We have like less than 5 left on YouTube, less than 4.
Okay, so I'm going to hit the YouTube people first. Thank you, everybody. Again, I love all of you guys. The shoutro, if you're new here, is just a silly freestyle where I say everybody's names. Basically, it's saying thank you to the people that matter most, you. So, much love. I usually do the music from scratch, and it's all my individual stuff, so... Again, and by the way, I'm going to start doing stuff. So if you do find a beat that you like, I'm going to try to make it so you can use it for your videos and stuff. We'll see if that works out. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf and Dex out.
I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I was fucking fly going back right, do it every single day and night. Oh, now we gotta go drive all our west side. Kelly 2334 and Brian Susmalich. I love her, the Arbor, Holio, and Ball 111. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I know that the big man upstairs, he really does care. I told you love, coming back from up above. Cameron Ward and Forever Charlie, Marvin Bog, Michelle Cameron. Connie Beasley, Courier Seeker, loyal to the foil, Jesse Bigman. And Wall and LJ and Golo, Vanessa Doe. Love y'all. Gonna bring it back with the Teresa Ranch and May can watch it replay. Thank you, Adam Dex, Martin, and Foogle Faye. Gonna bring it back. Damn, big love, big arms, make big hugs, and big love. Arms around the world. Thank you, Marf, Dex, and the Foogle fam. I found you, and you were on the side of the wall, and you didn't even know I was behind you, and I was gonna pull you out of the ditch of life. Got the Curious Seeker and Connie Easley, Cali 2334. Bring it on now with our Sparky love. Sparky wants not May, oh Mr. Dr. J. Thank you.
you, May May. Thank you so much. Massive support tonight. May May, I said May May. May May, I said hey hey. 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 Got the Jesse Pinkett and the Y, LG and go low in the star. Kelly 2, 3, 3, 4 and the bar. Won't bring Earth Observer.